December 19th, 2014. The world is in shock with the most devastating cyber attack that has ever happened in corporate history.
Sony Pictures Entertainment is reeling from what may be the biggest and most devastating computer hacking in Hollywood's history.
We've never seen an attack like this before.
And for the first time, a US president blamed a foreign state for a major cyber attack on American soil.
The FBI announced today that, and we can confirm that North Korea engaged in this attack.
But this is only the beginning.
Bangladesh's central bank governor, Aitur Rahman, has resigned after hackers stole tens of millions of dollars from the nation's foreign reserve.
This is without doubt the most audacious cybercrime that's ever been attempted.
Especially now that some hackers were able to steal $81 million from the country's central bank.
The idea that you would steal $1 billion from a national bank and try and spirit it away across international time zones is absolutely astonishing.
In 2014, something shocking happened in the world of movies.
It's the hack heard and seen around the world. Over 100 terabytes of data stolen from Sony Pictures.
Imagine you're a filmmaker, excited about releasing your latest movie, but then out of nowhere, your whole world gets turned upside down. That's what happened to Sony Pictures Entertainment.
Sony Pictures fell victim to a devastating cyber attack that shook the entertainment industry to its very core. The supposed reason for all this drama? An outlandish comedy flick starring Seth Rogen and James Franco.
Which was a comedy about two guys trying to assassinate the leader of North Korea, Kim Jong-un. This movie didn't sit well with North Korea at all. They were very upset about it. So upset, in fact, that they decided to do something about it. On December 19th, 2014, the world woke up to a massive cyber attack. Hackers had broken into Sony Pictures' computer systems and stolen a whole bunch of sensitive information. They leaked emails, personal details about employees, and even unreleased movies. It was chaos. These hackers called themselves the Guardians of Peace, or the GOP. But here's the thing, it wasn't just any hackers. The United States government said it was North Korea behind the attack.
The FBI announced today that, and we can confirm that North Korea engaged in this attack.
This was a big deal because it was the first time a foreign country had been blamed for such a major cyber attack on American soil. The hackers didn't stop there. They threatened violence against anyone who went to see The Interview in theaters. This was scary for a lot of people. Some movie theaters even decided not to show the movie because they were worried about their customers' safety.
Sony Pictures pulled the movie.
We had no alternative but to not proceed with the theatrical release on the 25th of December.
The fallout from the Sony Pictures hack was huge. It caused a lot of embarrassment for Sony and the people who worked there. It also sparked a big debate about freedom of speech and cybersecurity. The world was watching and everyone was wondering, what would happen next? First off, imagine waking up one day to find out that all your private emails and personal information had been leaked online for the whole world to see. That's what happened to a lot of people who worked at Sony Pictures.
We got a memo saying that unfortunately a cyber hack attack happened and they got everybody's information, but they didn't specify who. They just basically, anybody that ever worked for Sony at any time in their lifetime possibly had a chance of their stuff being hacked.
It was embarrassing and really stressful for them. But it wasn't just the employees who were affected, the whole company took a hit. Investors lost confidence in Sony and the company lost a lot of money. Plus, it was a big blow to Sony's reputation. People started to wonder if Sony could really keep their information safe.
Sony Pictures is huge. Its parent company has a market cap of over $20 billion. There are questions about whether the company was properly securing its data. Sony is still not saying much, but in a memo to Sony staff, CEO Michael Linton says, quote, "The privacy and security of our employees are of real concern to us."
The US government wasn't too happy about the hack either. They were pretty sure it was North Korea behind it, and they wanted to do something about it.
The FBI has officially stated today that they think the North Korean government is responsible for this hack.
The cyber attack is very serious. We're investigating. We will respond. We will respond proportionally.
So they slapped North Korea with some economic sanctions. Basically, they made it harder for North Korea to do business with other countries. But the story doesn't end there, not even close. Some people in the US government wanted to hit back even harder. They wanted to launch a cyber attack of their own against North Korea. They thought it would teach them a lesson and show them that they couldn't mess with the US. But not everyone was on board with that plan. Some people thought it was too risky and could lead to even more trouble. So instead of launching a cyber attack, the US government decided to play it cool and just stick with the economic sanctions.
We cannot have a society in which some dictator someplace can start imposing censorship here in the United States. Because if somebody is able to intimidate folks out of releasing a satirical movie, imagine what they start doing when they see a documentary that they don't like, or news reports that they don't like.
But here's the thing, the Sony Pictures hack wasn't just about one company getting hacked. It was about a whole lot more. It was about freedom of speech and cybersecurity and how countries interact with each other in the digital age. So even though it seems like the Sony hack was over, it turns out to be the beginning, because things are about to get even worse. Okay, let's talk about another crazy cyber attack. This time, it's not about a movie company, it's about a bank. But not just any bank. We're talking about the Central Bank of Bangladesh. Yeah, the one that's in charge of all the money in the whole country. So picture this. It's 2016 and some hackers have a pretty bold idea. They want to steal $1 billion from the Bangladesh bank. Yep, you heard that right. $1 billion.
They found out that Bangladesh Bank has $1 billion sitting in the New York Federal Reserve Bank. They're going to transfer the money out. Fine, it's $1 billion. Where are you going to send it to? Kim Jong-un's personal bank account?
Now, you might be wondering, how on earth could someone steal that much money from a bank? Well, let me tell you, these hackers were pretty clever.
Their mission was to steal $1 billion from the Bank of Bangladesh, and they managed to carve out a 5-day window when almost no one would notice that all of this hacking was taking place.
They found a way to break into the Bangladesh bank's computer systems and transfer the money to bank accounts all over the world.
They didn't manage to make off with the full $1 billion, but they came very close. And it was only because of a couple errors that money ended up not going through. But in the end, they managed to get $81 million.
The $81 million money laundering scandal is now considered one of the biggest bank heists in Asia.
But here's the thing, the hackers didn't just stop at stealing the money. Nope, they wanted to cover their tracks too. So they tried to delete their digital footprints and make it look like nothing had ever happened. Sneaky, right?
And this is another amazing element of the whole process of how you steal $1 billion. Dirty money.
So then they take the money and they move it into casinos in the Philippines. Why casinos? Well, number one, the casinos weren't regulated by money laundering regulations at the time. So you pitch up to a casino with $81 million, nobody asks many questions. But number two, perhaps most importantly, they change the money into casino chips. They gamble the chips over the tables, they get their winnings, they cash their winnings into a check. You can't link that check they walked out with the money that came in at the beginning.
Now you're probably thinking, who would do something like that? Well, guess what? North Korea was accused of committing this cyber attack once again because of the so-called digital footprint of the same hackers who hacked Sony Pictures back in the United States. And as a result, people believe North Korea was behind this cyber attack too. Even the United States blames North Korea once again. But why would North Korea want to steal $1 billion from Bangladesh? Well, some people think it was because North Korea was short on cash.
North Korea is broke
and needed money to fund its nuclear weapons program.
It was about stealing money that the regime desperately wanted and needed to build its nuclear program.
Others think it was just to cause chaos and show the world that North Korea was a force to be reckoned with. Either way, the Bangladesh bank heist was a big wake-up call for banks all over the world. It showed them that even the most secure systems could be vulnerable to cyber attacks, and it made governments start thinking more seriously about how to protect against these kinds of threats. Thanks for watching ABN TV Global. You are the true heroes, and we'll see you in the next video.